Hello DevOps people, welcome to Full Stack Live, my live coding channel for my last session for this year. I guess I'm not the only one who's going to disappear into the holidays. So I thought I'd focus today on simply having a good time and having a chat with you, my viewers. And so you're invited to join me in Twitch chat and ask whatever you'd like to ask. If it's about Ruby coding, if it's about DevOps in general, or any other question you might think appropriate. So yes, simply join me and let's have a nice year-end chat session. In the meantime, I'll take a look at my issue queue and maybe we'll get something else finished today, but I'm not too ambitious, and it'll depend on how this session goes. If I will be very productive or not, it really doesn't matter, to be honest. I hope everyone's well out there. I'm pretty good. I'm basically off work now for the holidays and the new year, and I'll be able to relax and recover from all the stress of 2019 and prepare for the stress of 2020. Alright, so I'll simply skim my issue queue here off screen and see if there's anything that tickles my fancy and something I really would like to spend a bit of brain energy on. Let's also just repeat the plan command so that it's on screen. That's my only defined goal for today. Feels like I'm starting to get a bit of a cold after my kids just went through one. My throat feels a bit sore, so it might not be the best idea to do a chat session right today, but who cares? It's the holidays. Okay. So what I can see is the usual user management stuff that I've been working on for a few weeks now. Oh, well, actually, there is something that I would have fun doing. Let's see. Let me quickly look something up in the background. Mm-hmm. Alright, so I've actually found something that I would like to work on. I recently made a few changes to the most central view in my dashboard application and realized that I kept putting more and more logic into this view, and it really makes things hard to read. And also a view shouldn't contain a significant amount of business logic. So I'd like to refactor this with a presenter object. That's something that's nice and clean and simple. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Alright, so as always, I'm going to start with creating a new branch from the master branch, and I'm always using issue numbers for my branches, so that's 539. Well, let's do a pull first, just to make sure I have the most up-to-date code base. Okay. 539 website presenter. Come on. So, at the moment in the website controller, I'm passing in the website model object. And I wonder, so let's take a look at how much code we actually have in here. So there's, of course, attributes of the website model. But here already we start to have a lot of conditionals in here. We could have this in a presenter object. Yeah, I think it's really a good idea. I'll take a look at that. Unless then SSH keys. Feature toggles and this pattern repeats during all over this view. If a certain section of attributes is present, then display them and make a table out of them or a list. Okay, let's try and make this view a bit more manageable. Could also try and work with partials here. I think that would be a good idea as well. Maybe that would be a good first step, to split this view into partials. Each of these window box sections could be its own partial. And they'd still be pretty big. I've just noticed that I'll have to repeat today's plan. So today's plan is to mainly have a nice chatty session. I'm not in the mood to be too productive because it's the holidays and I'm basically off work now for a few weeks. So I thought I'd make a nice year-end stream where you can have a chat with me and ask me things you'd like to ask, or share with me what you'd like to share. So yeah, don't feel like you're interrupting me. I'm happy to be interrupted today. Well, I'm always happy to be interrupted because I like these more interactive streams, but today I especially will not be offended. But since I have to be doing something at least, I thought I'd refactor this view and see if partials or presenter objects could help getting this thing under control again, because it's what is it, 335 lines long. So this could use a bit of refactoring. Binary digit, hello, welcome to Full Stack Live. Happy to have you here. I appreciate you popping into chat. You think? Happy to hear that. Actually, my wife thought that it would improve things if I wore a hat today. So she gave me this hat. Okay. So I'd say let's split this up into partials, and yeah. How you doing, Binary Digit? How has the week been treating you? Are you off work as well? Or is there still stuff waiting for you except of getting last minute presents? Bit bummed today. Oh, what's up? Anything I can help with? Cool. I think you are at the right place. So why is it quiet? Are people taking time off already? Or have people just not appeared because it's early for you? It's pretty late for me. It's 4:30 p.m. now, and so the rest of my team already has left. But since we are a completely distributed company anyways, I can't see them anyway, except if we are on a Zoom call together. New York City, greetings from Ireland. You know what? I always enjoyed it when people when the office was quite empty back in my corporate past. I really enjoyed times later in the day or when I was early, because it's much easier to think and not get interrupted, or simply have spend half an hour with just a cup of coffee and trying to recover from a short night or something. Trying to get through a React course. Yeah, that's interesting. I've just signed up for a beginner's JavaScript course, if I'm honest. JavaScript is one of the languages that I still haven't tackled. I'm a system administrator by trade, and I only went into web development by necessity because my company, which is a hosting company, needed a user dashboard, and that's exactly what I'm working on here. So I went into Ruby on Rails and started developing that about 6 years ago, I think. So I'm definitely not nearly a front-end developer, and that's something I'd like to resolve. Over time, I've learned a lot of programming languages. I started in 1984, and so learning JavaScript won't be a big challenge, I guess, but it will be quite interesting, and I hope to spend some time over the holidays doing this video course. Always be learning. Yeah, that's definitely something that has been driving me forever, and I think not learning even got me fired, or got me my contract not getting prolonged or something like that back in the past, because when a job was boring because I had already basically mastered it, I started to get sloppy or get distracted by more shiny things, and that's when I stop learning, I start delivering worse job, and so fortunately I've been running my own company now for 10 years, and so I have all the time I like, most of the time, to stay learning, both on the business side of things as well as on the technical side of things, which I still immensely enjoy. Don't be intimidated to do coding streams. The community I've got to know so far has been absolutely great. People are so supportive, and I guess part of it is that you can simply leave if you don't enjoy what people are doing, but you're not the only one who starts out with streaming or starts out with doing something that you're doing. So, for example, I wouldn't hesitate to start using JavaScript on stream, even though it's my basically my first foray into JavaScript. I wouldn't be embarrassed by doing beginner code or things like that, or beginner mistakes, because there are other beginners out there who can absolutely relate and who will be able to say, well, that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment, and he's doing the same, or she's doing the same, she's making the same mistakes as I do. And maybe that's even an incentive to get into chat. Imagine another scenario if you have an absolute master and they are doing the most complex stuff on stream, and you might even struggle to understand what they're doing. You might not even be too inclined to join the conversation because you feel inadequate. So yeah, don't let yourself get discouraged by these things. Simply do what you do. You be you. And thanks for following Pig Can Dance, and you yourself, Binary Digit. Thanks for following the stream. I really appreciate it. Oh, sorry. Binary 27 Heart, if you prefer that. All right. Let's see. Is there only one way to do what's it called now? I even forgotten the term. Partials. Or is there some super way to do this? Structuring layouts using partials. Partials are very useful in rendering collections. When you pass a collection to a partial, oh, that's also a good idea too. Since I have so many attributes that are arrays or hashes, I could simply pass in that particular data structure. And not be concerned with the whole other stuff. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm using IRC to connect to Twitch chat, and my IRC client obviously doesn't translate that emote. I should, of course, switching to Twitch, to the Twitch window now. Okay, so yeah, I'll just render a partial and can we have them in the same directory? I think we can, can't we? Okay, if I'd like to pull it from a different folder, I have to prefix the folder, but other than that, I think I can use the same local directory. Using partials to simplify views. Yeah, should have done that far earlier. So, let's try this and yeah, the Ruby community is well, I wouldn't say it's small, but it's smaller than, for example, the JavaScript community, I think. And that's one of the reasons why there are only quite few live coders that do Ruby on Twitch, but and lots of people who do Node.js or some kind of JavaScript, React or Vue or things like that. And on the other hand, the Ruby community is one of the most pleasant communities I know of, and I really enjoy it from a technical standpoint as well, because Ruby is such a nice and well thought out language, and there are lots of gems that really deserve the name, that are so practical and well built. I don't see any reason to leave Ruby for something else at the moment. Have I been to a Ruby meetup yet? Obviously not a lot of times, and I don't think ever. I should have a look if there is a Ruby meetup in Dublin and see if I can attend one. Hey ProClicks! Or ProClicks. If ProClicks is your name, welcome to the stream, by the way. This keyboard is probably right up your alley because it's pretty clicky. So, we'll try and render our view. In this case, it's the website main. How to name things, huh? Website main. It's a simple keyboard. It's using the HHKB layout with these blockers here, so it doesn't have any control keys because the control key is up here where the caps lock used to be, or where commonly the caps lock key is, which is pretty much useless. And so the Happy Hacking keyboard uses this key as the control key, which I can easily reach with my pinky from the home row. And if I actually need functions that are not on the topmost layer, I can simply use the function key and, for example, function tab functions as caps lock if I ever need it. So that's all there is to it, huh? Let's try and see how this actually works. Yeah, I also do have quite a couple of keyboards over here in my shelf. Would like to add a smaller 10 keyless to your collection. So you have only full-size boards then? I actually enjoy these smaller keyboards, like this Happy Hacking keyboard, or so that's considered a 60%. And there's also the that's the Vortex Tab 75. That also has cursor keys, arrow keys, and the function row, which I don't need that often. But I use this one mostly for gaming, for example, because the keys are not as clicky as the one on my Tofu here. And then there's this 10 keyless. And that's at least the ones I can reach from here. Ducky Shine. Oh, that's a full size, yeah. Razer Black Widow. It's a typical gaming keyboard. Magic Force 68. Okay. there are so many custom keyboards out there that you can purchase and build yourself, and I'm really enjoying that. The Vortex looks fit for, yeah, the 75% layout that is still pretty narrow, but has the function row and the arrow block is pretty popular because it saves space. It lets you put your mouse more in front of yourself than to the side, and so people tend to like the 65 to 75% keyboards that still have a cursor block and might or might not have the function row as well. But for coding, I don't need any of this. I don't need a cursor block. I can use function plus these keys here for my cursor movements, and I don't need any function keys anyway. Since I'm using VS Code in Vim mode, the most stuff I have to type is either alpha keys or combinations with control. It's fun, and it can be pretty expensive with cases going for, well, this case goes for about $100, I think. And then you have to have the key switches and the key caps. That's always the case, but there are cases that demand $400, or there are even cases in the 4-digit range when they are milled out of a solid block of aluminium, or have a lot of fancy mechanics in there. So your key bed might be suspended on rubber rings or things like that to cushion the typing and things like that. And of course, these keyboards don't sell in thousands. Most of these keyboards get sold in group buys, where people first pay, and only if the minimum order quantity gets reached, it even goes into manufacturing. And these, yeah, like Massdrop started basically, but Massdrop has transcended that model pretty much. But yeah, I got into this via Massdrop as well, and now it's mostly the mechanical keyboards Reddit and geekhack.org, where these group buys most of the time get started. And there you can then join such a group buy with maybe 100, maybe 200 or 300 other people, and the keyboard gets manufactured especially for these 300 people. And that's why you don't get mass market prices. There's no chance you can reach mass market prices with that little quantity. But these things often look really, really fancy and feel great for typing on. And of course, it's a hobby like custom cars and things like that, where people sink lots of money in without there being a practical reason. It's just a hobby, something they enjoy. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed getting back into soldering stuff. I did that when I was still a teen. I soldered things like radio kits or LED stuff. And getting back to that and soldering my own PCBs and things like that was really fun. I wonder if I get at least a single partial done today. But yeah, as is the plan, today we're not going to be too productive anyway. I simply enjoy this chat. So, just to find out if it actually looks in the right directory, I'll go ahead and run a test. My environment is running, but has it just started? I might not have an application container. We'll see. I don't know if I actually initialize the database in my Docker environment. Missing template. missing partial websites, website main. That's exactly where I'd like to put things, so website main.html.erb. And I think since it's a partial, it needs to start with a underscore, right? At least for me, Mastrop got me into the concept of a group buy in the first place. I didn't know that these things exist, that you can get together as a group with a designer or someone who has a product idea, and then pool your money and get it manufactured somewhere in China. And then you have a keyboard that only a handful of people own all over the world. So, okay, this worked. So I should be able to take this window box and move it into the main partial. And stuff still should work. Unexpected selection mode. What did I do there? Dismiss. Oof. Okay. Replace instance variable with local variable. Alright, so now we have to do a bit of refactoring because I'm still using the @website instance variable, but that's something that Rubocop considered bad form. So we'll actually go ahead and change this, and my mouse looks interesting too. Well, yeah, it's I suffer a bit from RSI in my right hand, so I'm actually trying to switch up things by switching between keyboards. I also have a split ergo keyboard, and I also use different pointing devices. So sometimes I'm using this Logitech vertical mouse that lets me keep my hand in a handshake position. I don't I think it's called pronate my wrist, which makes my bones shift in here, so it's a much more natural position. That's something that I enjoy, and sometimes I also use a trackball. Let me grab that quickly here. So where I can simply rest my hand and just move my finger. Yeah, I'm a bit of a input device freak. Selection mode 4, what's your problem? Never had this error before. So, okay, one thing I already realize is as soon as I replace this instance variable with a local variable, I can populate this local variable with a presenter object instead of the main model object website, and things will still stay the same. You've never seen what my project looks like, the front end. It's a very simple front end, and yeah, I'll pull it up for you. Let's find out on which port my application is running at the moment, 32776. So that's my development machine here. And I can log in as a customer. So that's Freistil box. Freistil is a German word. It means freestyle, because that's pretty much our philosophy in doing business and doing IT. And it's a managed hosting platform for Drupal and WordPress. And that's how it looks like. You start with this dashboard page where you get your different clusters displayed. A cluster is a collection of web application servers. It's basically a project or something like that, or I guess the majority of our customers only have one single cluster on which they run one or more websites, but we also have web agencies that run a whole list of clusters for different clients. Depends on the performance that you need and the number of or the amount of resources you need. And then you go into here and it lists your websites. And that's the view I'm working on at the moment. However, now I've changed the website. Wait. Oh, I've broken this accidentally. So, does this work? Yeah. So that's the main thing our customers are interested in, the details of a single website, with a few more top-level information, which PHP version they are going to run. We don't support 5.6 anymore, don't be worried. But in my development environment, I still populate the database with 5.6, obviously. The Git repository where they can check out their code and push their changes to. SSH key access is something that we're going to lose. No, we are not going to lose SSH key access, but we're going to lose the functionality that a website has its custom SSH keys. That's going to go away because recently I've been adding this users block here and the associated users. And since every user can define their own SSH keys, the website will get deployed with the SSH keys that we take from the user accounts instead of the website model. And of course, a website can have one or more domain names, and these are added here. And that's pretty much it. It's really not a complicated application. Because all this dashboard basically does is translate all this information into JSON and transfer it to our system configuration management, which we run with Chef, which is also based on Ruby. And Chef does all the heavy lifting with setting up servers and configuring web servers and caching servers and database servers and all that stuff. So that's that. I think the code is much more interesting than the final product here. Alright then, so let's get started with passing in a local variable. And that's done by local colon, right? Yeah, locals colon and then a hash of local variables. All right. So at the moment we'll simply replace the instance variable with a local variable. Which means we should be able to run this and oh no, tests should still be green. However, they are not replaced. Oh, that's a Rubocop. Okay, let's run rspec then. Bundle exec rspec spec. We'll fix these Rubocop issues by replacing all the instance variable references with local variables. Oh, it doesn't work. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Undefined local variable or method website. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? I pass in the zone. That's exactly what I'm doing here. Oh, it's render partial colon. Okay, I'll have to make this key value pairs, I think. So instead of just passing in the string for the file name, I'll have to pass in partial colon and then the file name. So, are you already in a holiday mood, or is it still too early? To be honest, I didn't have any opportunity to get into any holiday mood. I'm happy to say that I think I have all the presents that I need, but from that, I guess I'll still have to wind down and get into some kind of holiday cheer. So I guess that's when search and replace comes in handy. I do have my hat, I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me. So let's look for @website and simply... I still go through manually just to see where it pops up exactly. Actually, where is it? So we could replace this model instance by a presenter object that passes through all methods that the model object has. Oh, wait, one time. Which? Oh, that's... yeah, of course. I was expecting more instances of @website, but that's only the partial, and so I guess we're already through. This partial only has 105 lines instead of 300, so yeah, that was quite quick to search and replace. Things should still work. Am I traveling for the holidays, you mean? Yeah, we're going to visit relatives over in Germany after the holidays. I spent the holidays here in Ireland with my family, and we invited my brother-in-law over, and we'll have a nice, quiet Christmas, and then we'll go to Germany to see parents and well, more or less hand over our children to their grandparents and then get out of the way, because the grandparents aren't interested in their offspring anymore. It's more the grandkids. Which I actually don't complain about, because that'll give my wife and myself a bit of time off and time for ourselves. Okay, and I guess now it's rinse and repeat. So So the next one, I'll simply copy this and we'll call that website git. I really wonder why I haven't done this before. Something strange. I think there has been an update of the Vim extension and that somehow introduced an error. The next one is SSH. And next we'll go into these partials and extract the excessive code that's in here. But first things first. So, with that, things have become much more straightforward, and so something like this here, where I had to leave a comment to know what this tag here is closing in the first place, and it's actually not indented correctly, that can go. And comments like these are always a bad sign. They mean this end or this /div closes something that's way up there and that you actually can't remember or can't tell what it is, and that's always a sign that things should become should get a bit refactored. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we can see, okay, there's the left column that contains the main information, the Git information, and the SSH information, and now there's the next column that starts with the support block, and so that's the next partial, website support. And I grab this, extract this, put it in here, replace my instance variables, and render it as a partial instead. I love this. And this comment can go as well. I'll re-indent these as well. So now we get to the domains part, which should be a bit longer because there's a lot of stuff to unpack here. So new partial underscore website domains. And we'll grab this and go down here. Fix the instance variables. No comments to remove. And then render. Let's see if things still work. What plans do you folks have for the holidays? Did you even get time off from work, or are you leaving? Are you going on some kind of vacation? To be honest, had I known that the Irish weather would be that terrible in November and December, I'd probably have booked somewhere nice and warm, because yeah, weather's really been terrible in recent weeks, many weeks. Okay, we're still good. Next thing, obviously, is databases. This time it's only a shorter box. And it still has the helpful comment. Oh, forgot to replace the instance variables. Here. And finally, we have the users. Get a few days off. New house. Yeah, that's exciting. It's always... It's interesting now that you say it. Visiting people when they just moved into a new house is something special, isn't it? And I can't really put my finger on what is special about it, but maybe it's just new beginnings or things like that. That's well, okay. Getting married, starting their own family, that's definitely a new beginning. And that's that. And now we can close this column, which we don't need the user the comment. And that's an admin information. Oh, I just noticed the indentation here was wrong, but only here. Oh, I wonder, did I... somewhere lose? No. That should be correct. Coolio. Well, that's a bit simplified, isn't it? Oof. I broke something. Let's find out what I broke. Must be something pretty central. Renesti, welcome to Full Stack Live. Thanks for following. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Render something. Syntax error in website databases. Ensure? I must have accidentally removed something here. Ensure? What are you talking about? Ensure doesn't even appear here. That's very strange. I probably made some editing error. Failure error, render partial, add views versus website databases. In line 28, syntax error, unexpected keyword, ensure expecting end of input. Line 28, that's the last line, so I guess I opened a string or something that I didn't close? Oh yeah, I can see what happened. But I can't tell what I actually... Is there something I can undo? No. Did I just remove the leading tag here? Why is this not working? Crap. VS Code is behaving pretty strangely. It's indented properly now. Let's find out if this fixed things. Okay, it did. Nice. Okie dokie, so that already looks pretty. Now let's go over the partials and fix indentation. That'll make things easier to read as well. We can also be more generous with blank lines. Just to structure things a bit more. So I guess that's 4 indentations. There's a diff too much. Strange. Actually, it's not. I guess we indented a bit. Ooh, look at that. Something's off here after the domain names. Okay, let's go through this. So that's the content block. Guess we can shift this, but that actually needs to be indented a bit more. Lily Hazel, what a beautiful name. Hi, welcome to Full Stack Live. How you doing? Yeah, it's more like evening. It's 5:15 here in Ireland, and I'm doing fine. Guess I'm doing... hopefully I'm doing the final bits of work for this year. I'll still be on call over the holidays for a few days, but I hope that will go over without any issues. So yeah, winding up the year, I guess, or wrapping up the year, and yeah, we said, okay, since next week will be dominated by the holidays anyway, let's take the whole week off and tell our customers that we'll be off from the 23rd. It doesn't make any difference in terms of support. We'll still do emergency support, especially for our enterprise customers. And, the stuff that people kept until Monday, or will have kept until Monday, will also be able to wait until the new year. Okay, that's that. So I think we're good in terms of... No, we're not good in terms of indentation. This window box doesn't actually get closed, does it? That's the end to this unless, and so I guess we are missing a div here. That's another thing. By having this huge view split up into smaller partials, it's much easier to detect these at least stylistic issues, if not layout issues. Oh, hey, Julian, hi! Hi to you too! Welcome to Full Stack Live. And thanks for following, Lily Hazel. Really happy to have you on the stream. So, I hope I haven't broken anything now by inserting this div. Let's take a look at the website itself. Oh, it does look good. I was expecting to see things shifting, but looks like we at least kept things working, if not improved something that the browser was fixing for us before. Well, next up, that was the domains, right? Git is a bit easier to fix. It's 1, 2, 3 indentations. It seems to work out at the first attempt. However, this pre-block should be indented. And this one as well. I like... Oh, no, there wasn't anything automatic here. It looked like VS Code would re-indent something, but it didn't. It just was the word wrap, the line wrap here. Okay. The main could be a bit of a troublemaker because that's still pretty long, but let's see. So we'll just remove these leading spaces, and well, it looks like at least indentation was proper. I'd like to indent these as well, because that this is going to lead to a bit of an inconsistent indentation in the final rendered HTML. Doesn't matter much, but for readability, indenting this even use taking account of these code inserts here for indentation, I think pays off in terms of readability. And let's break this up a bit. Big feature guarded block here. And since I really can't make any sense of this block here by simply skimming things, it's almost impossible. I really have to read it very carefully. We are going to replace this with a presenter object later. Things should be pretty much obvious if possible, and in this case I think it's possible by extracting this logic into a presenter object. Now, why do I have multiple cursors? It's very confusing. That's fine. We're good. Yes, I'm using Vim key bindings. Before I switched to VS Code, I was using Vim anyway, and since I really enjoy staying on the keyboard, especially on the home row of my keyboard, using the Vim key bindings, I am using the Vim extension for VS Code, even though it seems to act up a bit at the moment because of a recent upgrade, I think. It is tough in the beginning, but as soon as you grasp the well, let's switch to something more quiet, because I think at the moment I'm getting a bit tired of this. Okay. Yeah, as soon as you grasp the logic that drives Vim, and it's very, very logical, I can tell you that. It's really easy, and it becomes really powerful quite quickly. So there's a slight learning curve at the beginning, but as soon as you've reached a certain point, things will click into place, and then it's really fun. Okay, so mismatched indentation here. Let's take a look at that. Here we have our loop for the li elements and nested divs. Since we're not closing this li, we'll indent all this. That's the li, and that's no, it's not mismatched. But this is mismatched, and then all the rest is mismatched as well, so we'll just outdent this. That's the loop, and these are our two divs here. Okay, nice. Tidied this up as well. That was the SSH part, right? Yeah, okay. There's a game to teach you Vim keyboards. That's interesting. If you can find the website, feel free to link that in chat, Lily. Well, you can pretty much control VS Code with the keyboard anyway, because, for example, in my case, Command-Shift-P gives me the command line, where I can run things like re-indent lines and stuff like that. And inside the editor, I can pretty much do everything with key bindings, jump around the code, even though I'm using the arrow keys at the moment, which you can probably hear. I could be more efficient with my cursor movements by using Vim stuff. So this already looks pretty clean. Yep, that's it. That's the... Wait, what? That was show. Of course, show was clean because we cleaned up show by using partials. SSH is clean already. That was last. Okay, now let's switch to support. Thanks, Lily. I'll have a look at that myself. So, lots of text. Yeah, the support stuff is only a lot of text with links. Not too complicated. And final piece, the latest addition to this view, the users section, which also looks far too complicated. So this should, well, oh, wait. Let's indent this whole thing here. TD up to here, TR and tbody / table. And I guess it makes sense to break this up. And then we have the links below the table. Yeah. And that's that. And then there's the div and the conditional that guards everything behind a feature flag. Okay. Yes, I am on the Live Coders team. I've applied to the Live Coders team 2 months ago or something, and got accepted, and I'm very happy to be part of the team. I really love this community. It's so supportive and so positive, regardless of what people are doing. If they're coding Twitch extensions or soldering Christmas tree ornaments or whatever, I really enjoy being part of the Live Coders team. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I'll definitely reach out and see that I join the Discord. I didn't know there was any Discord. Brilliant. What spiffy jersey? Do you mean a Live Coders jersey? I didn't know there was a Live Coders jersey either. I missed all the club activities, I think. Black and purple and super nice. That's actually sounds very nice. All right. So let's get this finished, and then it's also time to wrap this up for the year, I guess. Melancon, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Full Stack Live. Yeah, today I didn't have anything spectacular planned. I just wanted to have a chat and end the year with a bit of community, I think. And I think that's a good goal, actually, BioDigit. Getting comfortable with the code you're creating and getting comfortable with presenting it. And as I said, the bars aren't too high because people usually aren't too judgmental, and so I've never been told that I'm doing it wrong or that I should know certain things or things like that. People are very supportive in my experience. And yeah, so get to it. So we'll indent that. And we'll indent that. And I think that's it. Let's run another test. Yes, that's my experience as well, and that's why I have an auto host for the Live Coders team active on my stream. So you might find other people running their streams under this channel as well. Okay, and now let's run the whole test suite, including Rubocop, and let's see if Rubocop is okay with our changes with using only local variables in our partials. Rake test. Alright, so what is... That's actually Now, Rails best practices, that says simplify render in views. Looks like there is a more straightforward way to use these renders. What? The render tag only has this one. That's very strange. Rails best practices. Simplify render. In controllers? No, in views. We use it as a subpart view. We can pass objects. Yeah, okay. More simplified syntax for render provided. It makes render help cleaner. So at the moment we're using partial and name, and now it's only the name. That was what I had before, but when I added the object or the local, things broke. And in this case, oh, I can drop the locals part completely. That's interesting. That actually makes things simpler. Thanks, Rails best practices. So instead of rendering partial, I admit it's very wordy. I can do this, and do this, and do this, and that's it. Nice. So just to demonstrate what I'm doing here with Vim. So let's jump here, and now I'd like to delete this part with partial colon and the space. What I can do is tell Vim exactly what I want to do, which is delete up and including the up to and including the space, which I do by D for delete, F for find, and space for the space, and that way Vim does all the heavy lifting. So I'll do the same here, also delete until up to and including the space, which is df space. Now I'd like to remove the curly brackets. I can do that with ds, D for delete, S for surround, and then I just need to know that curly brackets with spaces inside is symbolized by the left curly bracket, while the right curly bracket is without the spaces. So what I'm simply doing is ds left curly bracket, and that's it. So just to demonstrate this, df space. Now I could jump directly to the L, which I do with F for find, as before with the deleting, and L, FL, brings me here, df space, ds left bracket. And now I can jump to the next partial by /part, df space, find L, df space, delete brackets. By typing N, I can repeat the last search, which was for part, df space, find the L, df space, delete the brackets, N for the next partial, rinse and repeat. And I could even use macros to automate this even more, but I guess in this case that would be overkill. And that's that. Thanks, Lily. I got your message on Discord. Brilliant. Looking forward to joining the server. Okay, so let's see if Rails Best Practices, which is a great gem, is happy now. It is. Nice. And once more, we run our whole RSpec suite. And what I meant with grasping the logic behind Vim is, for example, that you can always have a kind of a sentence structure with command and then a direction or a more specific information. For example, D for the command, and then dollar for as the symbol for end of line. So D dollar means delete until end of the line, or DF space means delete until you find the next space, and also delete this space. And as soon as that clicks in your head, that you can combine these commands with directions or things that make your command more specific, then things get a lot easier with Vim, and you can keep your hand mostly on the keyboard, and that's actually very nice, not only from a productivity standpoint, but also from a health standpoint. For example, if you have a keyboard that is good to use, you don't have to reach for your mouse anymore and things like that. So yeah, I can really recommend getting into Vim, even if it takes a bit of time. But so does, for example, getting used to a split keyboard for ergonomic reasons, and that's also a good decision. If you like, remind me on my next stream, beginning of next year, to use my split keyboard, and I'll be able to demonstrate that as well. Yeah, enjoy your meal, Binary Digit, and thanks for dropping by. Happy holidays! Okay, I guess time to commit this stuff and send a merge request. Right, if I do this from here, I don't have to enter my SSH passphrase. And here's the link for submitting a merge request. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, Binary Digit. Thanks for dropping by. Now, Browser Fairy, what is it? Here we go. Let's unbreak lines. Assign this merge request to me. Delete the source branch and squash the commits, even if there is only one. And this issue has been dealt with nice and cleanly. I don't expect our CI system to have any hiccups, so I'll be able to make this my final merge for this year. And yeah, I think it's time to wrap things up. Even the music has become a bit mellow now. All right then, folks. I hope to see you again next year. Let me see when I'm going to be back, since I'm going to be traveling a bit, and then I have to get back into the swing of things again. I'll be back on Friday the 10th. Friday the 10th at the same time as today, 4 p.m. Irish time. You can take a look at the extension on my channel that tells you what that is in your local time. I hope to see you then, healthy and happy, and I'm looking forward to more shenanigans with Ruby on Rails then. I hope you have some great holidays. Take the time to recharge your batteries, to catch up with loved ones, and what people do over the holidays anyway. If you don't yet follow the stream, please do so. You'll get a notification when I come back. And if you like, also follow my Twitter account, Gwiz, where I'm posting DevOpsy stuff as well, with other stuff mixed in. And until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for the brilliant chat today. I had a lot of fun, and I even was more productive than I anticipated. So thanks for watching. Take care.